mean, I keep saying, like, I didn't mean to become a competitor, like, mean to become a pro skier, or mean to, like, major in Spanish, but I just was kind of going by feel and shooting from the hip a little bit, honestly, and I think I just kind of do what other people are doing, who I'm attracted to, and, like, definitely not the best path to, like, financial security, but it's, as far as experiences go, if that were currency, I'd be doing all right. Well, and I think a lot of people come back to that. People have gone career first once they get their financial feet under them, and then they start to be like, oh, I'd love to travel more or learn to surf or this or that, and they kind of do it later. I didn't want to wait to have fun, you know, it was like trying to have as much fun as possible from the word go.
My name is Drew Tabke. I live in Seattle, Washington. Been skiing professionally since about 2013, competing since 2004.
So I grew up mostly in Utah. Parents were skiers. They came out west from South Dakota, stopped in Colorado, and then landed in Salt Lake. Skied when I was young, but then my parents picked up and headed to Hawaii once we came back to the Park City area when I was 8 years old. Started skiing and haven't stopped since. Yeah, I went to university in Salt Lake City. Took me about 6 years, so I didn't really race through it because I was taking winters off to ski and compete and travel. Once my wife, me, and I finished college, it was time to head somewhere new and exciting. She was looking for a job in the professional dance world, and I just wanted to find bigger mountains and bigger experiences in the mountains. And Seattle had work in the arts for my wife, and it was surrounded by the Cascades, and so that's where we landed. Crystal Mountain's my home hill. I love skiing up there. To me, it's like the best resort in Washington. It's the place I go to get as much lift serviced vertical as I can in my like limited time at home. For me, Washington's been all about just getting into the big mountains and like mountain sense and predicting what you're gonna find out there. Being in the Cascades, it's just a much more complex mountain environment, and you're like taking stock of this dynamic, steep, exposed kind of scenarios. And I think that applies really well to what we do on the Freeride World Tour. So this whole just like trying to interpret the mountain environment, a new environment, and like being in a place you're kind of uncomfortable with, and then still skiing really well. I think that is what I got better at living in Washington. I don't really think of myself as a competitive person, which, yeah, it sounds kind of dumb considering I've been doing freeride competitions for maybe 16 years and half pipe before that. It's not like I'm super driven like beforehand to like beat everybody, and it's more that like stepping up to something that's intimidating to you personally, having it all work out as you visualize and getting down to the bottom, and it's that crossing the finish line where you're like, oh, that's like really the fun feeling for me in the sport anyway. The competitive side of it is just like the 5th or 7th or 10th thing down the list for me. Like traveling has always been my priority, and this has been a way to travel. In 2018, I got to go on this awesome trip to the Dolomites with our Eddie Bauer Guides team with Carolyn George. The Dolomites are basically like the biggest castle you can imagine. They're like these big ramparts and towers and gargoyles that are literally thousands of feet high. As improbable as it seems, there'll be like a perfect couloir splitting a 2,000-foot overhanging wall. It's kind of a skier's paradise. me, it's that feeling of just like trying to find something, some diamond in the rough. That's kind of what Washington skiing is too. Like, it's not always easy. You know, where I grew up, it's like, can be kind of the same every day. Out here in Washington, whether it's the coast or the mountains, it's not giving it up so easy. But when it does, it's pretty special.